You gonna make sure I go back to sleep, huh? Do something else. If you don't get your ass, sit down somewhere. Stop grabbing, stop scraping my feet, bro. What you grabbing my foot for? You knocked the mask over, knucklehead. They keep me on my toes. Like, you ain't gonna have me run up and down downstairs. I can put them knee braces on. The knee braces on. Look at that new nigga over there. Snoo, what's up, baby? Herbo, what's going on, beloved? Benjamin MC, what's up, beloved? Oh, damn. Oh, hey, ABJR. James Bond, what's going on, beloved? It's Mikey Hill. Salute. Yes, you did, brother. Yes, you did. We're gonna get this read in. It's gonna be kind of quick. It's not gonna be long. Okay, because I was asleep. It rained. It started hitting that window. I heard that. I felt like Bismarcky and Dougie Fresh was outside the door. I was like, it was just perfect. I wish it was raining and thundering and lightning and trees and shit falling and cars spinning and cows hitting the side. I just wish it was all going down right now. Wait, let's go ahead and get this read on. I had to turn the AC off, man. I love the cold. It was just a little too much after coming in out the rain. I was like, no, sir. Turned it off, put the fan on. You know how you get that cool breeze like you're in the Bahamas or something? Down there in Miami or whatever. Yes, me. Let me read because I'm tired of them all. So let's go ahead. Terra Infinita, the extraterrestrial worlds and the civilizations. The story told by the women who were born in the lands behind the ice walls. Okay, let's get it in. Oh, he gonna have to poop here in a minute because he running. It wasn't enough just to. Ladies, let's go ahead and get into Pleiades. Chapter 15. Ladies. Oh, here we go. Excuse me. And this is by Claudia Nacelli, okay? And you can look them on YouTube and stuff like Instagram. But it's mostly in Spanish. Trust me. When I send them messages, I gotta send them in Spanish. So the Mayan Ocean. Did y'all watch Kira Meal's last video? Pretty good one. I shared it. It's a pretty good one. Pretty good one. Support the brother. Okay? And when you want to get the bibliography as far as the scholar work on that, well, I can go heavy in it, but some other people, I'll leave it for them. You know what I'm saying? They're still in that dichotomy. I need you to be aware of what's going on right now. Somebody said, well, Red, if you talking like that, or Do you believe in Satan? No. But I says, let me tell you something. Why is it in your Bible and the Quran it says he has many faces, many names? But then when we start identifying many things and many different things, let me express this. The Vatican been lying to you because if they worship the motherfucker, well, it's not a lie as far as their deeds. The reality is you don't need to worry about a goddamn name. Nor a label. That's a caste system. To have you in purgatory not realizing who you are, but they made their choice and decision. Just don't you make that choice and decision. You get where I'm coming from? They go against everything natural. Their perversions are beyond ilk. Merc and Mar. Okay? People, you need to stop with the self-inclinations to semantics. It's a rational thought. Study, be self-approved. Be divine or in divinity, okay? That's why it's good to get the information, but do not dramatize it. Isn't it drama enough itself? What you need to do is build a backbone, be strong, know that you're at war. Stop acting, and brothers, stop acting like little girls running around in the sandbox. And women, start protecting and standing up for the men. Okay, I hope that's a little clarity. I'm really getting to the point where I'm so tired of explaining the difference between one and the other. You're just going to do one or you're going to do the other. Make a choice. All right. Chapter 15, Pleiades. The Pleiadians are very close to the known lands. They are very tall beings that keep great physical similarity with the Norse. It is said that their ancestors survived the Battle of Asgard against the Custodians and then escaped to those lands in the Pleiades. They are generally benevolent to humans, but made a peace pact with the Anunnaki during an early age of their development. They rely on your spiritual development and improving your living conditions. Their circle environment is believed to have been manipulated by the Anunnaki since almost their beginnings, and for that reason they suffer natural disasters from time to time. Trying to improve their current situation, although their lands seem to be destroyed at an accelerated rate, mind you. It is believed that this was implanted to force them to have to escape from there and seek refuge in the known lands. Although many of these beings visited the known continents, especially the northern entrance through Asgard, they do not feel comfortable coexisting with humans. They looked for other alternatives, but they were a failure, and they also failed to live in any of the lands behind the walls of mountains. Now these beings did not help the humans in the Great War, although neither did they help the Custodians. They simply stayed on the sidelines. Although there is a good relationship with the giants, they are not seen with good eyes as allies, since they showed no interest in humanity in delicate moments of history. Anyway, their great spiritual advancement is worthy of learning. They are beings that could help humans on their way, and lately there are more Pleiadians entering the known lands. These are the known lands, people. It is estimated that in the near future, and it's only known because of you, melanated brothers and sisters. It is estimated that in the near future, they could migrate in large numbers and coexist in these lands, accepting certain custodial conditions. Perhaps this is happening right now. They could be mitigating a forest, or who knows? They could be getting ready to go against you. Next, we'll begin in chapter 16, which is the land of the clones. Now, when I was explaining to people, any of y'all ever watched 1979, 1980 Star Wars and followed all the way up to now? The Anakin, metachlorines, the clones, they work beside the Jedi, but then turn because they really work for the Sith, the fake government, the seeded planet individuals, Sith lords, who feed off your source, your life. Ain't nobody ever paid attention, huh? You know, a lot of those uniforms they wear, they're ancient. And if you did know that, then cool. I used to say that when I was in the military, people thought I was retarded. There wasn't no internet then. George Jones, An Original History of Ancient America. Elder Brown Classic. It says 1939, but it's actually 17. What was it? 1839. From my understanding, I've been doing some research on this book. This to reiterate, and come to find, I'm using the years that's supplemental to this day. Okay, mind you. Come to find, this book is roughly, I believe, based upon the early 1900s. But the individual who first wrote it, much older, okay? I believe 1839 to 1839 to 1843. Okay? I'm just letting you know. Okay? So let's get in here. Just a couple paragraphs for this, because this right here is the writing is so tiny, it makes my eye, I'm like, even though I can see it, well, I don't need reading glasses or nothing like that. All right, let's get into it. It is not necessary to prove that the measurement of the temple on Mount Moriah and that at Palenque are identical. In order to establish the analogy now under consideration, because local applications of their respective dimensions would create essential variations in the previous reign, that of David, mind you. Okay, King Hiram sent his Tyrian architects, here we go with Tyrian again, okay, to Jerusalem and built a palace for the monarch of Israel. Monarch. And in the reign of Solomon, who resolved to erect the temple, the same king of Tyrus was applied to for artists to build the great mansion of religion. And we know that is well scripted in, because you gotta remember, these people are coming from a Christian dichotomy when they write this. Excuse me. And what did I say about the exchange being capped? Religion being inserted to remove your knowledge of self. That's a whole nother, we'll get into that later on. Okay? Solomon did not command how it should be built, or in what order or style of architecture. That he left to the Tyrians, who were practical artists, and they gave him the design upon his expressing to the chief architect the wants of the edifice. Now, when you hear certain words here, just 3 words that is mentioned show you that these were Masonic, and they were New World Masonic cult. A cult Masonic masonry is a perversion. And anybody who wants to have that conversation, my uncle made sure, friends of mine in the military, I never asked one to be one. I had enough people around me going, Red, that is not for you. When I was in Edinburgh, Scotland, 90, 87, 85-year-old, I was 21 years old, and they set me down. I had to drink 12 drinks, and that's when I learned. Some of you Negroes have joined it. Why? Not because of peer pressure, because of envy, ego, belong to something, not really knowing that you already belong to something, and you're greater than that. And then you join and you learn all these goofy things. And when I sit with that 90-year-old Masonic woman, no Eastern Star and all that goofy shit, when they revealed to me what was needed to be revealed, they've been doing this for about, since Vietnam. They've done it over 4 decades. They told me what I need to know. That's why nobody argues with me. Why would you want to argue with me when I know whisper in your ear and to shut you up? You see, this is what's wrong with our people. We just had somebody ask me in this one, no disrespect. So we're not Moors. No, we're not. If that's what you want to hold on to, and Muslim religion and Islam and all that, that's your choice. But Moor is even a made-up title. And if you're having a hard time with clarity on the fact that the history that is told is a fake history, how are they going to hold treaties with Morocco and not with the autochthonous people of this land, to which there was over 479? Make that make sense. And then the people who speak, they talk, they mention Africa, this, that, and the other. And I'm sitting there going, they really don't know what they're talking about, or they're keeping you dumb. Okay? Okay? Just thought I'd share that. Now, these are the things wherein Solomon was instructed for the building of the house of the Creator. And that's in 2 Chronicles, people. Okay? We have expressed in the previous pages that no Tyrian ruins in Asia or Africa are found, whereby the style of that nation's architecture could be identified. None exists in Sidon, Tyrus, or Carthage. And we know that's a lie. Carthaginian Tyrian, we know that's a lie. But the never-decaying volume of religion contains a living picture of Tyrian art and style at Jerusalem that never can be in ruins. Though the identifying marvels of Phoenician architecture, like the first stone tablets of the Decalogue, it's actually another word. I don't know why they're using that, but that's what they're putting, Decalogue, are broken the lost beneath the mount of time. Yet upon the page of Holy Writ, 2 they both appear as new, as perfect, as when first erected by Tyrians for the son of David, are traced by the finger of the Creator for the instruction and civilization of mankind. Did you get that? There's also codes and secrets and all that, but we're not going to sit here and we can break that down another day. We can actually just, when we get through all the stuff I need to get through, we can actually go back to this book. I'll use the other one. And we can start breaking key factors down in this book. A lot of it I've highlighted. I've looked up certain words to better have an edifice, you know what I'm saying, to have a better understanding of what's being spoken. And it's pretty weird. The Gods of Eden. William Bramley. Thank you, Snow. I've been enjoying this book. Oh, wow. It's pretty funny, but I enjoy it. This is another one with the writings about size for rice, for ants and things about the size of rice to read. Because I tell you, bro, I ain't kidding, y'all. Anyway, in addition to engineering Homo sapiens, Prince Ea is given credit in Mesopotamia tablets for many other accomplishments. If he was a real person, then Ea could best be described as a scientist and civil engineer of considerable talent. He is said to have drained marshes by the Persian Gulf and to have replaced them with fertile agricultural land. Yeah. He supervised the construction of dams and dikes, and Ea loved sailing, and he built ships in which to navigate the seas. Now, when it came time to create Homo sapiens, Ea demonstrated a good grasp of genetic engineering, but not according to the tablets. Any of y'all ever looked up capital E, lowercase a? Just asking. Okay? And see the nonsense they created. Anyway, without trial and error, mind you. Now, most importantly, Ea was described as good-hearted, at least in regard to his creation, Homo sapiens. And Mesopotamian texts portray Ea as an advocate who spoke before custodial councils on behalf of the new earth race. Now, he opposed many of the cruelties that other custodial rulers, including his half-brother Enlil, inflicted upon human beings. And then it would appear from Sumerian tablets that Ea did not intend Homo sapiens to be harshly treated, but his wishes in that regard were overruled by other custodial leaders. Now, who remembers about a few chapters back when they were speaking about the deluge? It's funny how the story is conflicted in many books. How they, if you really pay attention, they popped up. They would have you believe, whoever writes these books, that they created us just out of nothing because they were hardworking. They were never here. Why would you come somewhere that was nowhere else and then create a life when you belong somewhere else? Talking about for minerals and gold and all that kind of stuff. But there's tons of all that all over the place. Why am I saying that? Because all the stories are chopped up prior to the existence of Egypt. So if they created man and then caused this great flood, exploding 3 of the most hyperthermonuclear or hyperbolic thermonuclear weapons that you can imagine, then why would they still be around? So obviously something happened after the fall of Atlantis. The deluge. And then a great civilization was pressed upon, but not right away. You see what I'm saying? It never happened right away. Once people were founded on their feet, then something happened because there was a great war. The problem is people think the great war was between Atlantis and somewhere. Now, from some books that I've read when I was in Germany and England, it alludes to that. Some of the books I've read, before Egypt, there was a great war. A grand war is the term. But it doesn't say what. So I believe Atlantis, in their dark hemisphere, knew of things and knew of other things. And when they got weak and the perversions, the custodials looked like us. Whatever was betraying on the inside, because we had weapons. For whatever reason, I couldn't tell you. And that was the grand war they believed. And then after the flood, they waited. And when the numbers were right, they came and sacked all the garrisons. And then put the people under hard labor. And they elevated them as they over the millennia. And then another great war happened between two bodies. And they were gone. Then the Great Tartary came. And then from the Great Tartary, we wouldn't have lost, but there were still custodials here. That's why they call it custodian. That's the only reason why that name is befitting. For they stayed here and walked amongst us and managed. They knew they couldn't fight and win, but they knew the ins and outs. All right, anyway. Yep, I learned a lot of that overseas, people. I'm surprised that a lot of them, that's why you have people over there, Paul Cook, people like that who are studying and paying attention and looking at all this wonderful stuff and sharing it with everybody. Anyway, as we have just seen, our ancient and highly civilized ancestors told a very different story of humanity's earth than we tell today. Now, the Mesopotamians were clearly not scheduled, excuse me. Let me turn this light on because it's small, y'all, and it's dark right here. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Shit. Anyway, ancestors told a very different story of humanity's emergence on Earth than we tell today. Now, the Mesopotamians were clearly not schooled in Darwinian theories of evolution. Nevertheless, there is some surprising anthropological evidence to support the Sumerian version of prehistory. Darwinian, that idiot. Okay? Now, according to modern-day analysis of the fossil record, Homo sapiens, I'll read that in a minute, emerged as a distinct animal species somewhere between 300,000 BC and 700 BC. As time progressed, a number of subspecies of Homo sapiens emerged, including that subspecies to which all human beings belong today. You see what they just did? Homo sapiens sapiens. Homo sapiens sapiens appeared a mere 30,000 years ago. Some say only 10 to 20,000 years ago. This raises an important question. Were the Sumerians referring to Homo sapiens or Homo sapiens or Homo sapiens sapiens? And in their I remember that stuff in high school. I was like, what in the fuck? Anyway, in their creation stories, there seems to be no firm answer. Then that would allude to Genesis 1 and Genesis 2. No, it would. For those who believe in scripture like that. Okay? Now, I tend to favor for the argument that they were probably referring to modern Homo sapiens sapiens, and for the following reasons. We'll get into the following reasons tomorrow. There are quite a few, and I don't want to go over those right now because it takes a bit of time. Okay? And that we'll crush that tomorrow. Some good pointers and stuff. When you start getting, when you're alluding to 6,000, 10 to 20,000, but then you start going back 7 to almost a million years, 700, almost a million years ago, when I keep telling people we have been here longer than that. And we used to live to be very, very old. Matter of fact, I think 1,000 years would be like a year from certain books I've read. Okay. Anunnaki, The Reptilians and the History of Humankind by Henry Crane. And there's a reason why these Pelicans always they get deep into this. And not only because of the doggone and our ancestral heritage, based on the common and the long tale and the stories of our our true history. And that's why I get upset when some of these Mongolians talking about they us and they don't know nothing about the cabbage patch children. They don't want to accept the truth of being orphans. We're coming from Greater Tartary and respecting their true culture. The fact that they run around dressing and acting and carrying on like us, no, everybody does. Okay? All them Peckerwoods come over here wasn't dressing like that over there. Trust me. I've seen some pictures. Now, the Greater Tartary, everybody dressed pretty, it looks different and weird, and we believe that to be abnormal. Actually, I think that was better dressed than we dress right now. And women, damn, you hardly wear nothing like them homos. You know, look at the brother in New York that got stabbed by the Arab. First, he's walking around with, look like one of them jock straps on with his butt out. And you know, Arab, first of all, let me clear something here, Arabs. You better hope that them brothers over there it don't matter about that Muslim Islam and all that. Don't wall up on you because see, they've had enough of people murdering their people. I would expect y'all to run back to Dubai or wherever you came from. Now I seen what happened to some Arab boys before that up in Brooklyn and a couple more boys in Chicago talking about how they had to whoop one up in this store and Detroit. And yeah, man, I done seen them get it pretty bad, man. So y'all straighten y'all asses up. Because when it comes to history, the history is revealing a lot of things that may be lies, but y'all, them Peckerwoods, y'all better straighten up, man. That's all I'm saying. Don't walk around here because you probably was born here and think you ain't one of us now. It don't matter what Negro out there don't know. Just trust me. You get the wrong one coming across that, one of us, and it ain't gonna be no jab, jab, jab. Everybody gonna get it. I'm just informing you. In the right places. That's Mr. Crane right there. I've been listening to people talk since that video, and I'm like, y'all better calm down, because you know y'all running around calling yourselves African Americans and all this, that, and other, and these Google boys is watching y'all. And shit, that's probably what they want. They want something to happen. That's why they keep hiring the dumbest people to become police officers so they can get them out, and probably some of them doing it on purpose so they can bring the UN soldiers in. Well, I'm not worried about them. I'm just saying, they got plenty of them here training. Just watch another one get out of the car with Texas license plates. All right, I know it's a rental. Walking over there with his little fake ass, weird little funny outfit, uniform on, coming from training. Let's go ahead and get into this read. That's for the people who pay attention to everything going on around them. Enlil passed on and taught these rituals to members of his people and the great priests of Egypt, and told them to communicate with him on those exact days. Now Anu was worried about what the reaction of the Draconians would be, since they were one step away from losing their human farm. Okay, in just 60 years, the vibrations, see y'all on my mind. Anyway, the vibrations of the earth. So check this out. In just 60 years, the vibration of the earth was so dense that the Anunnaki had to leave the earth. They even had to take their mothership out of the orbit of the earth. The humans were free at last, or at least that is what the Palladians thought. The Draconians, furious, knew that the Palladians were responsible for that. So they made a complaint to the Galactic Confederation saying that the Palladians had violated the human free will law. The Galactic Confederation promised to analyze the claim and make a decision. Who remembers watching Star Trek with old James T. Kirk fighting the Slee Stacks? Now, who remembers there was a movie where they had to ring the bell and they were T. That's all I'm going to say. Now, Inky was tired of, you know, wind chimes were on the porch. They weren't on the porch because they sound beautiful, people. Our people kept wind chimes when they fed into them little shanties and built them houses in the South. Are y'all aware of that? When they started getting rid of all the bells all around the place and putting them in these fake-ass churches. And those bells were not tuned appropriately. So they would have a big clong, clong. The bells of old, they were harmonic. So the wind chimes our people set up, just like the breastplates of old. Okay? Well, a thing of majestic and beauty. And so, a lot of times, because of cultism, they started using robin, certain bird and deer bones. That's a frequency of harmony. That is a frequency based upon the living rice of bones. Okay? And walking, the kids walking, shaking rocks in their hand. Are y'all aware of that? Like Georgia and the Carolinas and Virginia? I used to walk shaking rocks in my hand by the tracks and everything, like with a couple of friends, and they were like, "What are you doing?" Just pick up the rocks and shake them. Something I learned from my peoples. Because it's natural. See? Enki was tired of everybody making decisions to change the destiny of his creation. So he finally decided to liberate once and forever the humankind. He knew that although he could not be close to the earth, he could communicate with the humans through the face. That is how he started his most ambitious plan to liberate humankind, a plan that would change the history of the world forever. Tomorrow, you're going to enjoy this, and we're going to read this in the morning, and then later on we'll get into the Atlantis, North America, blah, blah, blah. The birth of the Messiah. Yeah. Bring a few of your people and have them sit down, grab you some popcorn. Enjoy. You can eat popcorn in the morning. Make sure there's no damn butter on it, unless it's ghee. And don't put none of them synthetic processed powders and all that crap they put in movie theaters. And give you a triple ass and a potato neck to eat with. Okay? You're going to like this one. Oh, let me put that in there too. So let's go right to the page. Now, you remember when I read about the expulsion of the Anunnaki from Uranus? And I told you that this land was called Athriel. Well, anyway, that was Earth. It's coconut water. I haven't had coconut water in like 4 or 5 days. Ooh, that's so good. All right. Behold a pale horse, Mr. William Cooper. Sacked upon hitman. With the FBI walking around in plain clothes and police uniforms. Okay. Oh, here we go. Okay, yeah, I wanted to make sure, because I didn't highlight this. The highlights, I've got so many different ones in here, it's like I'm looking at a damn rainbow, and I don't want no rainbow in my book. So anyway, so we're going to stay with one color from now on. And here we go. Now, when we last left off, and I want, because some of you weren't here, so all the new subscribers, I welcome you all here. I appreciate you. Every once in a while, unsubscribe, resubscribe. Hit the notification bar. All right? Come back. You don't have to watch the whole video. Well, start a video, unlike and like it, and that way, hopefully, you'll get a notification. Okay? And I appreciate you guys coming in. Now, where we were last time, we were talking about Congress and the funding, as far as the as for the projects and stuff like that, the Majestic 12 and all that kind of stuff, and CIA Confidential and things like that, and non-appropriate funds was the last part we debarked on. Snoop, what is non-appropriate funds? I know you could put it in there. What's up, baby girl? Dark entities thrive in low frequency, rise above them. Well, they actually, yeah, and broken frequencies. Girl, you right in your ass. Hey, Kawachata, what's going on, Kawachata? How you doing, beloved? It's an honor to have you here. Oh, what's going on, beloved? What's happening? I'm the French. What's going on? Grand elevations. You watch Kiramio Herbo? Okay, good. Y'all gonna enjoy this little part right here. Every time I read this one, you're gonna put more and more pieces together. And for those who are very religious as far as reading the Bible and stuff, when I come across that, I'll go ahead and read it out. It doesn't matter what I think or feel. Go ahead and enumerate that in your studies to see further what you might see in there. Because I know some people who have hit me up and messaged and they be telling me, man, I'm grateful you read that. I'm like, okay, cool. You got something from it? Good. You dig what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and hit it up. Government funds and are sustained with profits from operations rather than appropriate funds. And remember I stated about the Iran-Contra, the drug thing, and all that kind of stuff? You see what I'm saying? And it serves you exactly who they are. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Now, another major finding was that the aliens were using humans and animals for... Did any of y'all look for the videos showing them people down there in Mexico and certain places in Ecuador and Colombia who were missing parts of their body? It was... I'm talking about on ground. It wasn't like they was done somewhere and they brought there. I'm talking about fresh dead. No rigor mortis set in. Like, I mean, steam, like Predator type, shiny skull, and you can see everything like surgical. Y'all, man, I'm telling you, for those who have no issue, who can go to sleep at night, okay? Otherwise, don't go looking. You don't have to go to the dark web. That's just stupid, okay? The information's out there, all right? So anyway, let's go ahead. Oh, I'm asleep like a baby. Anyway, let's go ahead and hit it again. Another major finding was that the aliens were using humans and animals for a source of glandular secretions, enzymes, hormonal secretions, blood plasma, and possibly in genetic experiments. Now, the aliens explained these actions as necessary to their survival. They stated that their genetic structure had deteriorated and that they were no longer able to reproduce. They stated that if they were unable to improve their genetic structure, their race would soon cease to exist. And we looked at their explanations with extreme suspicion. Since our weapons were literally useless against the aliens, Majesty 12 decided to continue friendly diplomatic relations until such time as we were able to develop a technology that would enable us to challenge them on a military basis. Now, overtures would have to be made to the Soviet Union and other nations to join forces for the survival of humanity. But in the meantime, plans were developed to research and construct two weapon systems using conventional and nuclear technology, which would hopefully bring us to parity. That means to pair. Now, let me say this about, are y'all aware that Russia and America were supposed to be on this space thing together? But when these fraudulent fucktards murdered Kennedy, they withdrew from Russia and it enacted the Cold War. And the results of the research were projects Joshua and Excalibur. If you could pull that up, it would be nice, hon. Joshua was a weapon captured from the Germans that was capable of shattering 4-inch thick armor plate at a range of 2 miles. I believe that later became the Exocet. It used aimed low-frequency sound waves, and it was believed that this weapon would be effective against the alien craft and beam weapons. Now, Excalibur was a weapon carried by missile not to rise above 30,000 feet above ground level, and that's AGL. For those in the ordnance, AGL is above ground level. Okay, so now you're informed. Not to deviate from a designated target more than 50 meters. Able to penetrate 1,000 meters of tufa, hard-packed soil such as that found in New Mexico. Now carry a 1 megaton warhead and intended for use in destroying the aliens in their underground bases. Now, Joshua was developed, it makes me think about North, when we was living in the North, when we think about Chud. But it was cannibalistic human underground dweller. Y'all might want to look for that movie and watch it. Yeah, man, it was crazy up there. Anyway, was developed successfully. No, Joshua was developed successfully, but never used. And to my knowledge, Excalibur was not pushed until recent years, and now we are told there is an unprecedented effort to develop this weapon. Now, the public would be told that Excalibur would be needed to take out Soviet underground command posts. We know that this is not true because one rule of war is that you try not to destroy the leaders. They are needed either to unconditionally surrender or to negotiate terms. Now, leaders are also needed to ensure peaceful transition of power and the compliance of the populace to all negotiated or dictated terms. You think about Japan, right? They conquered that land with the help of the Vatican and the fake crown of England. They turned on them, and because it was population control, that prime minister, what's his name? The Japanese motherfucker, he knew he was put to the task. He was told what to do. And in Hawaii, they stood down so he can come in there, they can go in there and bomb the place. And he knew what was going to happen. Because if he didn't, they would have just went over there and killed everybody. Y'all think I'm gaming? Okay. All right. The events at Fatima, remember that? My Muslim brothers who fall at religion. The events at Fatima in the early part of the century were scrutinized on the suspicion that it was alien manipulation. An intelligence operation was put into motion to penetrate the secrecy surrounding the event. Now, the United States utilized its Vatican molds and soon obtained the entire Vatican study, which included the prophecy. This prophecy stated that if man did not turn from evil and place himself at the feet of Christ, the planet would self-destruct and the events described in the book of Revelations would indeed come to pass. Now, the prophecy demanded that Russia be consecrated to the Sacred Heart, and it stated that a child would be born who would unite the world with a plan for world peace and a false religion. Okay. The people would discern that he was evil and was indeed the Antichrist, and World War III would begin in the Middle East with an invasion of Israel by a United Arab nation using conventional weapons, which would culminate in a nuclear holocaust. And most of the life on this planet would suffer horribly and die as a result. Now, the return of Christ would occur shortly thereafter. Now, when the aliens were confronted with this finding, they confirmed that it was true. The aliens explained that they had created us through genetic manipulation in a laboratory. They stated that they had manipulated the human race through religion, Satanism, witchcraft, magic, and the occult. They further explained that they were capable of time travel, and events would indeed come to pass if the conditions were not met. Now, later exploitation of alien technology by the United States and the Soviet Union, utilizing time travel in a project named Rainbow, confirmed the prophecy. That's why we always see time and we see punk ass Obama, right? With the rainbow vortex, like CERN above his head. That's what it was about. It was not about the fact that he was gay. Everybody up there knows he's a faggot. Okay, now, the aliens showed a hologram, which they claimed, Project Bluebeam, claimed was the actual crucifixion of Christ. And the government filmed the hologram. We did not know whether to believe them. Were they using our genuine religions to manipulate us, or were they indeed the source of our religions with which they had been manipulating us all along? Or was this the beginning scenario of the genuine end times and the return of Christ? That has been predicted in the Bible. I do not know the answer. What have we clarified? What is Christ? So if I insert something in your brain and I have you in a weak state, let's say I take you as children and I put you on an island, and you don't know no life nowhere else, and I tell you that black is red and red is black, and a number of other things, I tell you the opposite, and you grow up, a cat is a dog and a dog is a cat. What do you think is going to come out of that when I take you at around 30 years old and I insert you and you see other people who look like you and you start pointing and people say, would you like a red one or a black one? I want a red one. And they bring a black, they bring a red one to you, but you know it's black. And you know, I don't want that one, I want the red one. And you're pointing at the black one. They'll think you buck ass crazy. And they'll be looking at you thinking you buck ass crazy. You see what I'm saying? We're dealing with times like that right now. Anyway, now, had been predicted. Anyway, let's go. or were they indeed the source of our religions? Anyway, return of Christ that had been predicted in the Bible, and I do not know the answer. Now, a symposium was held in 1957 that was attended by some of the great scientific minds then living. They reached the conclusion that by or shortly after the year 2000, the planet would self-destruct due to increased population and man's exploitation of the environment without any help from God or the aliens. Do you know what it's like to be getting secret messages, and there's actually 5 secret messages, and you might think that you got 2 of them, and the third one you got was right? That's probably wrong, and 2 more, or maybe 4 more to get that are wrong. They are ahead of people. So when you find out some information, that's why I said it's good to pay attention to the puzzle pieces. For those of us truly in the know, we know the earth is not round. I'm not here to coax you in with my voice and make you believe something. If you don't know how to do the math, don't want to go and learn, get some flying lessons and swim deep ocean, or go out to sea and get a what you call a fisheye lens, binocular, a strong one, and look straight across the ocean and then do the math for every drop of 7.5 feet or 8, whatever, an inch, 2 inch, whatever. If you go out looking over 100 feet over that way and there ain't no drop, then welcome to the clan. Okay? Welcome to the clan. Now, by secret executive order of President Eisenhower, the Jason scholars were ordered to study this scenario and make a recommendation from their findings. The Jason Society confirmed the finding of the scientists and made 3 recommendations called alternatives. 1, 2, and 3. Oh, I'm well versed in that. Alternative 1 was to use nuclear devices to blast holes in the stratosphere from which the heat and pollution could escape into space. Wrong. They would then change the human cultures from that of exploitation into cultures of environmental protection. And of the 3, this was decided to be the least likely to succeed due to the inherent nature of man and the additional damage the nuclear explosions would themselves create. And we know that's a lot because they've been blowing them motherfuckers up like left and right underground. Come on. When they was trying to crack the dome, come on, people. They was going crazy. Now, the existence of a hole in the ozone layer may indicate that, and they know that's impossible because they just told you that, well, we can't get shipped through the ozone, the Van Allen belt, right? They tell themselves all the time, people. You just need to pay attention. The existence of a hole in the ozone layer may indicate that alternatives 1 might have been attempted. This is, however, only conjecture. There we go. Alternative 2 was to build a vast network of underground cities and tunnels in which a select they were already built. Representation of all cultures and occupations, all they did was occupy them, would survive and carry on the human race. The rest of humanity would be left to fend for themselves on the surface of the planet. And we know that these facilities have been built and are ready and waiting for the chosen few to be notified. Now, alternative 3 now was to exploit the alien and conventional technology in order for a select few to leave the Earth and establish colonies in outer space. Remember the story of Mars? Okay? I'm just throwing that out there. I am not able to either confirm or deny the existence of batch consignments, okay, of human slaves, which would be used for the manual labor as part of the plan. Now, the moon, codenamed Adam, was the object of primary interest, followed by the planet Mars, land, codenamed Eve. I am now in possession of official NASA, to deceive, photographs of one of the moon bases, and I believe that the Mars colony is also a reality. Yeah, Mars. You see how you always alluding to Mars? What have we learned about Mars? Admiral Byrd supposedly subjected that they can live 250 to 500 years, so that means that nigga's still alive over there, unless he got dead fighting. As a delaying action, all 3 alternatives included birth control, sterilization, and the introduction of deadly microbes to control or slow the growth of the Earth's population. AIDS is only one result of these plans. It was decided by the elite that since the population must be reduced and controlled, It would be in the best interest of the human race to rid ourselves of the undesirable elements of our society. And how did they get that way? Specific targeted populations. They consider them weak, y'all, mind you. Okay? Populations that included blacks, Hispanics, and homosexuals. Now, the joint U.S. and Soviet leadership dismissed alternatives 1, but ordered work to begin on alternatives 2 and 3. Alternatives 2 and 3, virtually at the same time. Now, in 1959, the RAND Corporation hosted a deep underground construction symposium. Pelskins, don't get excited because they killing y'all more than they are us. Don't even get it twisted. Okay? Things change. And there's reasons. Anyway, in the symposium report, machines are predicted and described that could bore a tunnel 45 feet in diameter at the rate of 5 feet per hour in 1959. It also displays pictures of huge tunnels and underground vaults containing what appeared to be complex facilities and possibly even cities. It appears that the previous 5 years of all-out underground construction had made significant progress by that time. Now, the ruling powers decided that one means of funding the alien-connected and other black projects was to corner the illegal drug market. And the English and French had established a historical precedence when they exploited the opium trade in the Far East and used it to fill their coffers and gain a solid foothold in China and Vietnam, respectively. This is the last paragraph here. A young, ambitious member of the Council of Foreign Relations was approached. His name is George Bush, who at the time was the president and CEO of the offshore division of Zapata Oil. Zapata Oil, people, based in Texas. Zapata Oil was experimenting with the new technology of offshore drilling. It was correctly thought that the drugs could be shipped from South America to the offshore platforms by fishing boat to be taken from there to shore. And by the normal transportation used for supplies and personnel, by this method, no customs or law enforcement agency would subject the cargo to search. And there you go. And motherfuckers voted, not me, voted for this motherfucker to be president. Big ass drug cartel operating bastard. And that's based upon some truth, y'all. I mean, the motherfucker's dead. You know, I think he was having a dinner with some Chinese or whatever the fuck his son, and his head fell into the plate of food. They believe that he was, you know, Jack Kevorkian. I don't know if it's true. I didn't look into it because I don't really give a damn about him. I wouldn't care if he stubbed his toe and the shit caused gangrene and they had to cut it off and he died, or they sent him somewhere for him to live another 200-300 years and the motherfucker's decrepit. Anyway, whatever it may be. So anybody else come in? They can bounce around on the earth plane. Hey, first of all, look at this, y'all. How many of y'all ever looked at the picture? Let me see if I can pull the motherfucker up. If I can, don't even fret. You can look it for yourself. If it does all this, oh no, it's doing all that again. I don't know why I keep doing this shit. I'm not even messing with it, man. Anyway, I want y'all, you know about the so-called moonwalk. Remember the moon buggy? Did y'all ever take a look at it next to the motherfucking so-called ship it came off of? How in the fuck they get that buggy in that little tiny ass capsule that it supposedly exploded, sending that motherfucker back up to the module? Come on, man. Like, people are so... And then there's one part where they show the Land Rover on Mars. Thank goodness I knew this motherfucker. This motherfucker was an artist. He said, wait a minute. And he went digging through pictures. Now check this out. What's that little magazine that's come out every month with the little yellow border and had all the animals and different shit on it? You know what I mean? The motherfucking background was on one of them motherfuckers, National Geographic, whatever the fuck it's called. The whole thing they showed the Land Rover on with the moon background was in fucking Arizona, and it's all up with the mezzanine. That's the Mars, and it was the same rocks and every damn thing. these motherfuckers been lying to you motherfuckers for the longest goddamn time. And then all the motherfuckers that died on space shuttle Challenger, they done had the news reporter go up and talk to them and everything. And the motherfuckers walking by, excuse me, like it ain't no thing. All of the motherfuckers of that sorry ass nigga alive. Come on, people. That's why they doing what they doing. They looking at y'all like what y'all ain't gonna do shit anyway. Oh, here we go. Okay, I'm holding up. You gotta be fucking kidding. This big motherfucker. Let me go to images. Now, I had somebody arguing with me, right? Saying, no, man, they pulled it out the bottom with a cellophane, the brass cellophane bullshit was, that's flapping around and shit. Right? And then they built it up. Nigga, that is not what they was communicating back on the fucking phones back at motherfucking space station Alpha Big something out of Florida. Listen here. I'm gonna show you this motherfucker. And I just want you to shut the fuck up. Now, this is supposed to be on the moon, motherfuckers. Now, I got to download this bitch for antiquity. And I'm gonna throw you the conceptual one too, because I need y'all, you need to know and stop believing in the shit these motherfuckers have done. The more you believe in their bullshit, the stupider to me you look. And therefore you get snow chocolate pudding. Now this is the conceptual before it even happened, okay? Conceptual. Now if you believe this shit, I got a whole lot of property over here, beachfront property right here. Beachfront. I'll sell it to you for $20. You think that motherfucker landed with that motherfucker in it and three knucklehead niggas with supply with enough gas to blast the fuck off the surface of the moon? Niggas hopping around like they doing the motherfucking Flintstone yabba dabba doo da ya ya dance. Niggas. People actually bought into this and still do. When people talk about use logic, I'm like, logic, nigga. How about using your brain, motherfucker? They had to plug it back up, guys. You dig what I'm saying? I'm gonna plug it up upstairs because I'm about to go hit the bed anyway. What was that? Hey, Thomas Payne, what's going on, beloved? What was that, Ronald? That ship literally got foil on. Yo, right? Oh, you already got it, beloved. Not to mention the bubble. How about the one, what was it like? What was the fucking, which was that one, like, how many months ago? Was it last year? Like the end of last year, beginning of this year? When they showed a motherfucker up there at the space station and the goddamn rat ran around the goddamn lip of it. I said, man, ain't no way in the world. Man, I played that thing back about 12 times. Rat ran right around. You look at the earth, right? And you see the light. You know it's artificial, right? And you can hear the motherfuckers talking. And you see in the camera supposedly outside the ship looking at this certain position. There you go, rat. How about the bee flying around when the motherfucker doing the spacewalk? And then the bubbles, the motherfucker almost drowned, and then the bubbles about several times. And then how about these motherfuckers with all that chemical in their hair? You can't, you can make it up, but god dog, man. You just think people smarter than this shit. You know what I'm saying? What was that? What was that? Why your name Lucifer? Don't worry about that. You sound religious, bro. If you are, don't worry about it. I'm on your side. It's just a name. That's why I teach. So people get away from that bullshit that they believe in. I didn't say he was worried. I just said don't worry about it. You see, yeah, right. You see, yo, I was because I was diving and all that when I was in the military, and I saw this cat. When I was over there in NS Jocks, they got a big Olympic sized pool, or bigger than that, with the dump tank, which is like a helicopter cabin. And I used to get in it to train, go upside down, my Hughes breather. So I would learn when I was training for the Special Forces, right? And it would slam you under, and you'd be a little disoriented, and then you swim out. And you really got to be careful, because you could be swimming down and think you're swimming up. And I would always turn knowing that I was upside down with the breather, because you only got like 3 minutes. I forget how long. It's like, I think it was 3 minutes of air. And then come up to the top, but you got to be calm. They had somebody there with one of them suits on in the water. Homeboy came and told me, the seer guy says, "No red now. We can't do it today." I said, "Why?" So he took me to the doors to see. Motherfucker had on a NASA suit, the whole suit, with the lines and everything from this big thing getting in the water. I said, "What's going on?" Now they got to film something. Don't they got their own shit down in NASA? He says, "Oh, this is something different. This is." I was like, "Okay, I got the fuck up out of there." Let me tell you something, man. Ain't none of that shit real, man. I wonder how many people have died that they sent up there to try and break through some shit using some funky ass equipment that you never hear about. How many people they took and trained up and got them prepared, saying this is going to work. We got everything worked out. You hit these switches and hit these knobs. It's going to vibrate. You're going to go through and you're going to see a whole new world. And they ask, it's fricassee. Oh, well. Fall somewhere in the ocean somewhere. You dig what I'm saying? Shit is real. You know what I'm saying? What was another one? I remember one of the space shuttles was launching out of Canaveral, Cape Canaveral in Florida. And I used to volunteer to take the kids to some of these different places, whether it be New York and Florida, whatever, go with the kids to take them to the space station, And I'm walking around looking at all this great shit. And in my head, I can't say nothing to the kids, nothing. Well, unless I knew the family. And I'm looking at all these attempts to break through the atmosphere, or at least get to a certain height. Because that's what they were trying to do. Nothing else. But the foreground, the story is, to all the dummies down here, and we're going to outer space. Because you got a bunch of idiots who will argue to death. Oh, you're crazy, man. They went out in space, and we got a space station, and But what's funny is that satellite that's flown over this country 100 times like that, many of them, and all the other ones, look just like the space station. Significantly smaller, big, but significantly smaller. And I remember how the Army guys used to always put these balloon satellites up, and they would have these big balloons, and they would float around for a long time, and they put many of them up, and they had the little directors on the fans and propulsion to make them go to certain places, and they still do that. Air Force and Army, you know what I'm saying? And that's what's crazy. Oh no, it's number love. I've already told. I got one of my videos. Go back to one of my videos. I broke it down. You know what I'm saying? But never worry about it. Like I said, I'm on y'all's side. But the thing is, when because I was in the military, and some of you may have never had to deal with that. But when you work with nukes and all that other shit, you kind of get into the realm of hearing some weird shit. But the Army stuff, I knew about that because I remember I was, what base was that at? Anyway, out in the field, I saw them blowing these big ass balloons up. I was like, what the fuck is they doing over there? Oh, they about to put these things up to record and air and this, that, and aircraft. And I was like, don't they got satellites for that shit? Now, at that time, I didn't believe the earth was round, but I didn't think it was that flat and that big. I was in denial about a lot of things, even though I had already heard all the good shit. And I didn't argue with people. I was like, well, I'm going to have to wait until the day I see or I wake up. When I learned how to fly, and I had done that, but when I started making more of my solo flights, then I fucking realized I'm not teetering this motherfucker up. I'm flying straight. Something ain't right here. When you fly, there ain't no, you just flying straight because you going around. No. Let me tell you something. The earth is something 11,000, whatever the fuck they say it is. You're going to compensate for flying because if you're going to fly straight, you're going to go up. And don't give me that gravity shit and none of that. I get tired of hearing that stuff. Oh my goodness. Because if that was the case, my little would have been going fucking crazy. Nothing they say makes sense when you start understanding the inner workings of certain things. And I've had enough pilots get drunk and say, oh man, this motherfucker think the earth round. Laughing, drunk. Whether at Top Gun or wherever it was I was at, I'll be listening to them like, oh shit, you heard what that motherfucker just said? But then nobody wants to listen to none of that. They want to listen to that weird ass, butt plug wearing ass professor. They go home, can't put on high heels and motherfucking wig. Puts the lotion on the skin. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I always say, and then as far as the Bible and all that in the Torah, the Tanakh, it tells you a plane. It tells you God's footstool. Like, nigga, it didn't say he was one of them Chinese acrobats walking on a motherfucking ball. I mean, come on. But people want to have self-interpretation without no acute studies of anything. You know what I'm saying? So all that outer space, moon shit, CGI, all that's bullshit. Every bit of it. And they've been robbing and raping the motherfucking people for the longest time. Reverend Warner Brown put the motherfucking, what is it, Psalms or whatever the fuck on his, they put it on his tombstone. Well, he had to put it on there before he died. You know? And then when I've been telling people, when I used to go fight with this big ass UN, I says, oh, they got a fucking flag, a map, not a flag, a map that show look like a horseshoe around motherfucking all of this shit in the middle. Oh, you crazy? Now everybody's putting it. Now you see it's popping up all over the fucking place. Facebook, Instagram, TikTokers and everything. It's popping up everywhere. I'm like, hey, y'all ain't never went to the UN. That's right. Y'all don't go to your city town meetings, your city council meetings. Y'all don't go to your PT, the education with your kids. And I'm saying all you. You motherfuckers don't make civic hall meetings. Y'all don't go to nothing. And I know all y'all living in the city and stuff don't take your ass down to the UN and look on the motherfucking walls. I used to be down there, motherfucker, and then that was long before HEMOC was going. And then people was like, fuck HEMOC, man. Every time when I was living in New York, and I would hear that nigga's name, I'm like, who is this nigga? I ain't never heard of this motherfucker. Then all my drug dealing friends, all them people who I know, associates, people worked a long time ago, they like, oh yeah, that nigga, man, he be throwing the wildest parties. And I was the one putting that information out there. That's right. When I was over there in the Bronx, I was telling motherfuckers. I was on motherfucking MySpace telling niggas, y'all better leave that motherfucking nigga alone. I said, I'm getting the word from people I know that motherfucker's shady. And nobody listened. Niggas giving that nigga $75, $100, whatever the fuck they was paying to get some kind of faking. You can't get a card from no motherfucking nigga, y'all. You can't get a card. And if you're trying to be recognized by a federal government, a fake one, you stupid. And if you want to play the paper game with them, and you're not even a fucking nation because you don't know how to walk together, man, I'm not even going to it. That's why I study law. You know, people don't want to listen to somebody that's been there and walked many trails. No, they want to listen to the motherfucker that heard something from somebody else, and they applying this and a little bit of that. Oh man, you gotta get knee deep in some shit. Sometimes waist and chest deep. You want that catfish, but you got gators, nigga, to hold down, have to stick your hand in there and hope the gator don't come. And if you don't know how to go up under that chin, because you know gators like to rub beside you, and then they whoop and grab you. I'm just letting you know. I live right next to motherfucking St. John. I live right there. And gators used to be right the fuck there. We mind our business, they mind their business. And we all was told never allow the motherfucker to brush beside you because it will take your ass down. And back the fuck right up in the water and take your ass to the bottom. I ain't worried about it now. I'll walk right up one of them motherfuckers right now. Anyway. What's up? No, y'all are awesome. I ain't nobody. Callistus. No, the Anunnakis are not related to us. The Anunnakis are your fucking enemy. Trust me. And that is some shit passed down by certain Pan-African niggas. They're not your motherfucking friend. Or your people. Or anything. Trust me. Don't come over here with that, beloved. They are nothing to you, me, or anybody. Yo, get the melon on, man. But you are exactly who you're supposed to be, and that is beyond the scope of any other term and terminology out there. And then you got to remember, a lot of these books allow to put information out there as long as it keeps you running in circles. Because I'm reading about it doesn't really mean it is, because I've already read 4 different names of what the Anunnaki could be. Are anybody paying attention? There's a reason why I'm reading the way I am. So pay attention. Angels aren't what you think they are. You can ascend to that respective place, and they don't want that to happen. They want you to be stuck and have to come back here, and the next time not be able to remember a remembrance and be subjugated to whatever desire it is they want. You must have full, total recall. Mac Ming. That's right. That's right. They can't. They actually keep people running in circles, infighting and stuff. Something we never did. But we are ancient. And that's what people need to know. And we're playing their game. You must stop playing their game. You must be willing to die to live. And I don't mean the death like we say, stick them up, son, or somebody ran up and popped one in the back. No, I'm talking about you must not subjugate yourself to the world you're in. Dead yourself from all of this shit. And then you start living. I tell people all the time, get your fast on, but do not crowd yourself with the people around you because they'll pervert your fast. So your fast will be meaningless because you'll be in strife, you'll be tolerating all their bullshit and not able to acclimate to your energy. Your energy, and that's a lot better terms, your 809 or whatever you might want to call it. What makes you, if you never allow yourself to walk in your truth, you will only know the surface of who you are, and that surface is inundated with stuff that soap and water is not going to wash off. So you got to go deep. I'm not going to talk about something I don't know. You have to walk in your own tracks. You cannot follow nobody else's, but you can walk beside them and fill your pothole in, move your obstacle, jump over your humps, and make it to the other side. And that means doing work. That's all that means. But most people don't want to do that work. You must find your frequency. And I keep telling you it's 7.8. Now it's up to you to find that. And then what you do, increase it. All right. I appreciate y'all, man. I'm gonna get off here because I'm tired, y'all. I'm 4 hours of sleep last night. The watermelon, I gotta go pee. That's a diuretic, bro. But it's good. Number love, respect. Mac, what's that, Mac? Me and brother. I said, hey, Baker Emerson, what's going on, beloved? Thomas Pan, I got you, beloved. You already know. Mac, man, it's good to have you. Man, I was on you. I've been silent lately because I'll be sitting there. Because if I got a wrench, you know me, you be talking about don't get rid of them, so I don't say nothing. I'll just be watching. They be, Mac, me and be having some good ones, y'all. Y'all be sharing. Y'all better be watching them. Yeah, get that melon, baby. Anyway, much respect, everybody. Mad love. Let's look at some of the comments. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. And tomorrow morning, we're going to get back into who found Atlantis or who found Europe, okay? I can't wait to read Kira Meal's book to you guys because I read someone. This is what I fell asleep reading this. He said he was going to send me some bangers, all right? And then we'll get into this. I got about 2 books to go with this one. So I was happy he sent me this one. Kiramil, much appreciated. I got 2 books to go with this one. A lot of y'all know I've read the Bible about 100 times, the Quran. I read the original Quran when I was in. See, a lot of people didn't know Scotland, Muslims. I read the original Quran over there. Excuse me. And I read the original Tanakh, Torah, whatever you want to call it. I read the perversion one too. Fuck, Rabbi, you know who I'm talking about. And religion, and I will get back into reading Flatlanders, so that way you have a clear understanding. And that's scholarly work, Flatlanders, and the several books, the Vegeta. I'll read all those books to you. The ones that I purchased after reading a book. Now that I have them all together, you're gonna really want to listen, okay? You really, and I'm not gonna say a whole lot. I'm just gonna read because I'm gonna have to jump from books to books, and when we get to those topics, about the crystal fluid and all those different things, the pineal, the reason why they were so grand as far as the old world that used free energy, mercury, copper, the ether, ionic. Like people keep talking about UFOs. I keep telling people, man, them things are flying on ionic propulsion. And they say, well, what are you talking about? Can you imagine taking mercury and brass or copper, having lead with magnets, and that thing spinning on its own? Do you know from the air, because in certain places, Morocco and Greece, you can walk up to certain tables made from, what's that stuff? Not asphalt, but made from sandstone, and put your finger a ½ inch, and there's electricity will come off. That's like ionic, almost like purple. I've done it, and I'm sitting there going, what in the hell? Just like when you walk to the doorknob during a certain time of dry season, and you go to touch the doorknob, we always say winter, or it's between the seasons, fall and spring. And every time you go to touch something, you get shocked. Actually, that's natural. You're just not used to it because it's not happening all the time. Ionic propulsion. Be faster than a liquid and solid rocket motors, y'all. All right? Look into it. This is what I do. I told you I like to invent things. I like to study many things. You know I'm a mathematician. Snoo, you know it. We went to school together. Okay, it's very good, important stuff. Yeah, the book is awesome, Mac. The book, I went to sleep reading it. I was and passed out because I only got like 3.5, 4 hours of sleep last night. Watermelon gets you running to the bathroom. Anyway, it's a good damn book. That Jews and Muslims in British colonial America. Y'all know I'm like a big kid. Somebody said, if you send me a book, I'm open. I don't care if I'm reading 12 books. I'm going to go and look at that. I'm going to read a few chapters. I'm going to be like, okay, do I want it? Does it grasp me when I first open it? The first few chapters better, be knocking. If it don't, I'm going to put the book in the corner and be like, I'll get to another time. It might be very interesting, but it's got to grab me. The moment I open it, start reading. You dig what I'm saying? Anyway, let me get out. What's that? Copper too. It will protect you. Yes, copper. That's why. And chelated gold, copper, chelated silver. Colloidal, I'm not too big on colloidal. The colloidal gold is preferably more real. When you get to colloidal copper, chelated's better. Colloidal silver, you're teetering with you could be dealing with something that's very toxifying. So I always say chelated because there's more of a balance to it, something that's hard pressed. You know what I'm saying? Like when I press my pills. Okay? So anyway, let me get off of here because it's after my bedtime. It's 9 something, y'all. Y'all tapping into my sleepy time, bro. You know what I'm saying, y'all? Anyway, again, number mad love, beloved sisters, the brothers, 2 on the 1. Catch y'all in the AM.